And we're back with another episode of Shenanimegans,
We are
season 10.
episode, season 10, episode 5.
Still at it.
You can't stop us. We'll never stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. I mean,
yeah.
except for when we forget what day of the week it is, but
Yeah. But that would never happen.
only
That'll be ridiculous.
only stop momentarily, only for a day. Get back up, get back out there. So yeah, this is Tuesday. I had Monday off and I thought it was Sunday the entire day.
Very good.
Lastly, started sending me like the "Yo, you there?" podcast time, and I'm just like, oh, I haven't watched anything. Oh no, wait a second, this isn't good. So it's Tuesday instead, because I'm good at my one job.
Yep.
I was hoping you'd correct me that I actually have two jobs. But I'm even worse at the other one. Uploading videos. Who does that? One day.
Who needs it?
One day. I'm so sorry to all of our YouTube watchers. All four of you.
All of them. Yes.
Actually,
all of the many.
Don't even know what our analytics are in there. I don't really watch them. I know you're like, if you want to build a channel, you want to build a brand, you gotta, check your analytics, play into that. But I'm just here like the dog. I'm just here to talk about anime.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be some pro. I'm not here to deliver good content. I'm just here to shit out what content I got in my soul. You know?
Yeah. I have looked at the analytics stuff on YouTube before, and it's always like so grating because they have like, here's tutorials on how to better monetize your content. I'm like, I hate it.
Yeah, it's like I'm not here to monetize. This is like DIY, like borderline last minute thrown together punk shit. Like, we're not here for the quality. We're just gonna scream like for 30 minutes straight at the top of our lungs. And you're gonna enjoy it. So yes, we've been doing it for 10 seasons now, and it's worked out. We've had so much success because we're measuring success by just we did it, and nothing else. Which is, that's not a bad way to do it. That's how I do my fanfics. I don't really pay attention to kudos and stuff that much. I'm just like, haha, it's done. It exists in the world now. Suck it.
Yeah, success is just completion.
I should have rewrote that entire section, but I don't care. It exists. Like,
exactly.
That's just how it be sometimes when you don't have a lot of free time and you just want to do something for fun. Sometimes you can't stress about the quality.
Exactly.
This would be the perfect time to like segue into. So I've watched the last 2 episodes of Martian Machen this week, but I haven't.
Oh, no.
I don't know when I'll get around to that. I will someday, but it's not today. I barely. I didn't remember to watch our actual shows. You can't expect me to have watched anything else.
Yeah.
But
you can't watch anything else though. Have you? Because we don't have news this week.
Yeah. Well, I watched Machikado Mazoku right before this, specifically because when I went to put one episode up for number 6, I accidentally hit Machikado Mazoku, so I was like, oh well, I guess I'll just watch it instead of like hit negative. Why not? It's fun. It's cute. I really like it still.
Yeah. I should catch up on that.
Yuko and Momo are really cute, and I really want them to date. Let it be gay, please.
Do you think it's like realistically heading in that direction?
Probably not. It's going to be like the magical girl level of gay, where it's like it's clearly gay, but because it's magical girls and there's such a like absurd like male fan base for magical girls, they have to like keep it subtext so the gross weebs can imagine themselves still. They don't want to alienate their 18+ male fan base, which is awful.
Yeah.
Which is common in magical girls series.
Unfortunately.
Very unfortunate. But I mean, that's the same with like Western stuff too. They do the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh, totally. It's not a Japan thing. It's a media in general thing.
yes, it's a sexism and homophobic thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, not really anime, but I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts of it's called Protein City Comics. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a web podcast, let's play of the RPG Masks. I've probably mentioned it before.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
superheroes
I've heard of masks
based
before.
as comics.
The-
Yeah, this is like they've changed it up a bit. So instead of whichever city it is in Mass, I forget which city it's based in. It's based in their own city, Protein City Comics, but it still exists. The other city still exists, but just so you could build their own backstory around it.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying it. It's been filling in some teenage superhero team stuff I've been missing
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't been really keeping up with Young Justice anymore. So this has been my
Yeah.
replacement.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a actual play podcast that I listen to that they'll do side episodes, and one of the things they did was play a couple episodes of masks. And that was a cool thing.
What
It
is
seems like a fun system.
what is it called? What is that podcast called? Because I'm pretty sure it's by these same people.
No, it was Friends at the Table. It's a different
Oh,
group of
okay,
people.
okay. Because I
Yeah.
know this was like a spin-off of the other stuff they do. They're like the actual play. They're like a group that actually has another name, but I can't remember it now. No,
Oh no.
I'm not gonna find it. But yeah, they like do other actual play podcast stuff, I think, too. But I haven't seen
Mm.
any of it. And I don't remember what its name is under. I just know Protein City Comics,
Dang.
which is just kind of. They don't
Yeah.
have information on their page.
I might check out that podcast.
It's a lot
Oh,
of funny. It's a lot of
yeah.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if I can find the name of their group. It's the Stop Hack and Roll group.
Not heard of that group.
Yeah, they're mostly about modifying hacking in house ruling games.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which
like
is
that.
which is why like Protean City is sort of like a hack of
Mhm.
Protean City, or if not Protean City, of Mass and the city, and that it's like their own
Mhm.
universe in it. But yeah, no, it's a really fun podcast. I really enjoy it.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's it. It's very anime, so I thought I'd mention that.
Nice.
I got a ton of well, not a ton, but I got comics too.
Ooh. Yeah.
My latest comic pickups were mostly Vault comics, which I actually really like. Vault's been putting out like a bunch of new waves of comics, and it's all like cool sci-fi and fantasy stuff. So that's fun. It's new
Mhm.
comic book day tomorrow. Woo! I
Nice.
think. What comics are we getting tomorrow? I think there's a Detective Comics tomorrow.
Oh.
I think that's still double shipping. I think there's one of those. I hope we don't do much more of this current arc in Detective because it's just kind of boring. And then there's some other stuff coming out tomorrow too. I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Obey Me finishes tomorrow. It's only like 5 issues plus an issue zero, which is pretty cool. It's like a it's kind of like a promo for a Switch game that's coming out. I don't know when the Switch game comes out, but it's made me want to buy the Switch game. It's about like this girl who's kind of like a Grim Reaper working for a demon to collect souls with her partner Monty the Hellhound.
Mhm.
It's neat. Aesthetically, it's pretty cool. It feels a lot like that kind of urban fantasy that's really popular right now,
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the closest stuff I have to anime going on right now.
Cool.
Yeah, so There was one manga thing I read, which I meant to be
Oh.
looking up on my phone right now, but I wasn't that whole time. So if you'll
Whoops.
give me 1 second.
Okay.
It is a fairly generic fantasy reborn, but it's not reborn in another world. It's like I died in this world and I was reborn in this world. I'm one of the
Hmm.
heroes, and I'm reborn as the daughter of two of my old hero companions, and this is really awkward.
Oh.
Uh, Ayu, Ayu, no, Musume. Here we go. This line almost too. Reborn is the hero's daughter. Time to become the hero once more. It's cute. It's fun. It's dumb. There's no substance to it. It's just I'm gonna watch this like power fantasy
Mm-hmm.
of a dude who's also become like a little girl because of course that's
Hmm.
that's what's
Yeah,
popular.
of course.
That seems to be a really popular trope. There's a bunch of these game or sci-fi stuff where it's like, ah, I've died and been reborn either in the same world or in a game world where I am now like a young girl, but I have all my memories. I'm super powerful. Like I didn't read this manga because I thought it was another one that looks almost the exact same for like
Mm-hmm.
months. But yeah, so I read 7 chapters of this. I haven't updated on my list yet, which is why I had to look it up.
Oh.
But yeah, that was I read something. There was something there. Oh yeah, and I
Nice.
read another chapter of So I'm a Spider, So What, Volume 2, which is fun. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
probably finish that in a few days.
Cool.
Which is, yeah, speaking of being reborn in another world as a cute girl. Cute spider
Yeah.
girl. Spider.
Yeah.
Spiders. Anyways, um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about all I got. What about
Yeah.
you?
Uh,
I know you
I
got some
was.
reading in, right?
Yeah, I did. I've been reading now Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex
Yes.
White. Yeah, it's really good. I'm like 250 pages in. It's one, which is when they get off of Carre, when they get away from the Duke and his guards.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Yeah, that's a really good book. I'm enjoying it a lot. I need to sit down and read it more.
Enjoying the Formula One racing?
Yeah, I was actually kind of impressed because it's like, oh, I can tell that the author is like an actual F1 fan, or at least did a lot of research because it all really sounds like someone who knows their stuff. It's very cool. It's very realistic, and even the like portrayal of the drivers are very like, yep, these are what actual drivers are like.
I just found out there's a hardcover version of this book, and now I need to
Oh.
go track it down and buy it, and it's gonna break my wallet.
Maybe I'll get one too to replace my beaten up paperback copy.
Is it
The
beaten
ship
up
with a hole
already?
on the cover.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right,
it had paint
right.
damage. Yeah,
I forgot
just a
about
hole in
that.
the
That's
front.
impressive.
Yeah.
I know, because I know the Nicholas Eames books who are published by the same people. You have to order the hardcovers from the UK, and they're super expensive. So
Oh, that would probably.
I don't know where to find these hardcovers. I'm looking.
Hmm.
I'm not seeing.
Well, now I'm looking too.
Anyways,
No, I'm just curious. Anyway.
yes. Continuing on.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch much anime this week. Well, I was busy all weekend, so I didn't get a lot of watching stuff done. But I did finish watching Evangelion.
You.
Finish that up
You
today.
got the end.
Yeah.
How was the mythical ending that everyone
It-
loves?
I almost fell asleep while I was watching it. That's how exciting it was to me. 'Cause, I don't know. I feel so like I was expecting to have-
Congratulations.
Thanks. Nice.
Congratulations.
See, I was expecting to like have strong feelings one way or the other on the show, but I just kind of don't.
I think that's why people hate it so much, is because it's supposed to be amazing, and
Mhm.
it's supposed to be one of those series that's like polarizing, but it's really
Uh-huh.
just it's a series,
Yeah.
which
It's like
almost makes it more insulting and worse.
Yeah. Oh, there are like bits of it that I really like and bits of it that I really don't like, but most of it I am pretty lukewarm on. It's like, whatever. But yeah, I mostly just watched through it because I was listening to Waypoint was doing a series of podcasts about watching through it, and I finally
Alright.
listened to the last one of those today.
Yeah, they
And
were doing like 3 or 4 episodes at a time or something.
they were trying to, like, they were trying to do like 5 or 6 at a time, and then it slowed down. And the last podcast they did was the final 2 episodes plus End of Evangelion, and that podcast was 4.5 hours long.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Now you can watch the movies.
Yeah, those are just retellings of the thing with some extra stuff.
Aren't some of the new movies different, I thought?
They have differences, but I guess on the whole it is basically the same, but there are differences to what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for the fourth one to come out in a decade, and then I'll watch all 4 of them at once or something. Or maybe I'll just never watch Evangelion again. I'd be okay with that.
Well, yeah, if you're waiting for part 4, you'll never watch it again, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there was one other thing I watched. I watched yesterday. It's not anime though, not really. I watched season 3 of She-Ra.
Oh,
Is
right,
out
that
on
came out,
Netflix.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it came out
ooh.
like Friday or Saturday.
I'm still 2 episodes away from finishing season 1. It got dark and I couldn't handle it, and
Yeah.
now people keep hinting it gets worse. I'm like, no, it was so good and
Yeah,
cute.
the end of season 1 gets pretty dark. The end of season 3, it doesn't get dark, it just gets sad. Is it dark? I don't know. Maybe it's a little dark. I don't know. It definitely gets a more serious tone. I don't know. The main thing about this is like I'm just thinking about like the production schedule of it, because there was like 6 months between season 1 and season 2, and then like 4 months between 2 and 3, and like you can kind of tell because season 3 is only 6 episodes, and also like animation isn't quite the same. I don't know.
I think what
It's just
happened
odd.
is they decided to start throwing in the what they did with Voltron, where they started splitting up the seasons into half seasons to avoid spoilers. Because of like that one point where there was the leak that went really badly, and then the whole series went downhill after that.
Yeah.
And the creators seemed to really hate gay people after that point. Good old Voltron, but that's also a Netflix series, so
Yeah.
I figure they're just trying to do the same thing because they don't want it to wait too long and then people forget about it, so they want to be able to keep bringing it back, which is the problem with binge setups, right?
Yeah,
People just
yeah.
forget, so.
Yeah, the thing I had read about this specifically is that DreamWorks has a partnership with Netflix, and they're basically going to provide Netflix with content every X amount of time.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, hey, She-Ra, make another season real quick.
Yeah,
And
they're just
that's-
like, just cut it in half. Just do half at a time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they did with Voltron, because that was also DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Literally. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think in between that, they're going to drop Dragon Prince, because I think that's also DreamWorks. I'm not super sure on that one.
I thought that wasn't getting more, was it?
Isn't it
Might be
getting
thinking of
another
something
season?
else.
I think you're thinking of something else. They
Yeah,
have 2
maybe.
seasons so far. Yeah, 3rd season is being confirmed. And a video
Okay.
game.
Oh. Wow.
Is this DreamWorks?
Dragon Prince?
Oh no, this isn't DreamWorks. Never mind. Yeah, that's not related. It's Madison Wells Media and Bardell Entertainment and Wonderstorm Productions. So
Yeah. No idea who any of those people are, or any of those companies. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about She-Ra. It was pretty good. I feel like it was the weakest of the 3 seasons so far.
you're
But,
probably supposed to watch it right after season 2 and like have it all as one
yeah.
season. So
That's the thing. 2 and 3 definitely feel like they should kind of go together. And like the big emotional moment in season 3 just like didn't land with me at all. They've seen a lot of people getting very emotional over it, but it just didn't hit me at all. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
It's still a good show. You should watch it.
I do need to catch up and finish it sometime. If nothing else,
Yeah.
just so I can break into that well of fan fiction content to read.
Oh, there's so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a lot, but I've seen some
No.
stuff.
It's
Seems
like
good.
it's like the current hot popular fem slash like F slash
Oh yeah.
series. Fem
I
slash.
believe that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of very good characters in it.
Yeah.
that are
I love
extremely
Scorpia. I love
Oh, she's very good.
she's so good.
Mm.
Yeah, so anything else at all, or?
No, that's been it. That has been it.
I can't remember. Did I talk about Batman and Robin Eternal last weekend?
I don't think you did.
Then I watched it then I read it this week. There was something else. There was something else all along.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin Eternal. I finally got around to reading. It's like the follow-up to Batman Eternal. I love Batman Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Harper Row. I love Stephanie Brown in it. It was so good. And then there was like a year where the characters just weren't really used.
Mm-hmm.
And then the follow-up, Batman and Robin Eternal, showed up, and it was fantastic. And then they just stopped using him again, and Harper Row disappeared. But there also wasn't any Duke yet, which kind of sucks because Duke's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let me make sure there's no spoilers on screen. I guess let's just bring up this image. But this was during the New 52. I'm failing so hard at this.
Oh no.
I'm trying to hide spoilers. Let's just profile. Let's not. So they brought Cassandra Cain back into continuity for the New 52 with this, and the way they mix her and Harper's story is so good. And there's issue 7, a like opera issue, and it is so gay. Because there's an ongoing weekly series, like event. They had like each writer and artist pair do 2 issues, issues at a time. I need to ask the whoever did issue 7 and 8, was it your intention to try to make them as gay as possible? Was that the direction they were going? Were you trying to be like, yes, these two love each other? I need to know because the body language. Cassandra Cain literally speaks through body language. Like that is like her number one way of interpreting language. And it's like the body language in it is so gay. It's so good. Literally Batman and Robin Eternal, if Harper or Cass were a guy, there's one point where they would have straight up been kissing. Like they do the thing where their faces are really close in the panel and one's like brushing the hair from the other's face and like holding their chin, and then they don't kiss. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's like Harper's literally canonically bisexual. Just let him kiss. I guess they didn't want to make Cass gay, but DC, you cowards, do it.
Yeah.
That's the one way.
Good.
That's the one way Young Justice can redeem itself. Give me Harper Cass, even if it's next season. Just give it to me.
Yes.
Anyways,
I would start watching it.
Yeah, I've been on another binge of like Harper Cass content, and there's not enough.
Yeah.
So I started writing some, and then threw Raven in for good measure, because why not? Literally, I've done 2 fics now of Raven and Harper, and those are the only 2 fics in existence for that pairing. I'm like, I'm building myself a ship. We're building a raft out of whatever pieces I can find. Technically, because I've been doing them as OT3s, I'm literally building a raft by pulling like planks off of other ships and just like taking them with me. It's like these go together now. We all go together here. We all float down here.
Very good.
It's been some cursed hell gremlin stuff, but it's been fun. I highly recommend Batman and Robin Eternal. It's really good, and I really want them to put out an omnibus. They haven't announced it yet. They just announced Batman and Robin Eternal, and Batman Eternal as an omnibus. Well, they announced it a while ago, but it comes out in September. So I'm hoping once that comes out, they'll announce the hardcover omnibus for Batman and Robin Eternal, so I can just get that. Otherwise, I have to buy the 2 trade paperbacks, which I think a lot of the New 52 stuff is finally starting to go up print. So I'm actually like rushing to try to pick that up while I can, a bunch of that stuff. So
Mhm.
fingers crossed, though. Fingers crossed. My fingies are crossed.
All right. So, you bringing up Batman reminded me of a thing that I had been meaning to ask you about, but keep forgetting about, because you had watched Batman Ninja a while ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch the Japanese dub or the English dub?
I watched the Japanese.
Okay.
Apparently,
Because
the dialogue is different depending on which you watch, but because the Japanese was the original, I listened to that one.
Okay, because that was what I was
think.
gonna ask you about. Because I read some stuff about it, and the people who worked on the English dub were saying that they like didn't get a script from the Japanese people, so they just had to write their own scripts based on what they saw on screen.
That's DC's own fault. That's not getting it from the Japanese people.
Yeah.
That's DC not running the project correctly at all. But
I don't know.
yeah,
It's so wild.
it's pretty decent with Japanese. I need to search up. I need to watch it in English now. I've got the Blu-ray, so I can.
Yeah. Makes me so curious to see like how different the two are.
Yeah.
Because apparently the two versions have been like received pretty differently.
Yeah, Japanese is
Like, one
pretty
is-
good. It's really goofy, especially near the end, but it's pretty good. And there's some really, really cool bits of animation that it's like worth it to watch for them. Like when Red Hood first makes his appearance, it's such good it's such a cool style of animation. And then at the end, during the parts where they're in like Gotham and not feudal Japan, it's like got this really cool like comic book style that they use like 3D CG to make that like I would watch any show in that, because I haven't seen anything else like pull off comic book style as an animation style like they did in that movie. It is so good.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, but yeah. I had just finally remembered to ask you about that while we were talking.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I also tried to watch Judas Contract, the movie, again. I tried to find it and watch it, because they took it off Netflix, so I couldn't. And I got really confused, because Tara is speaking, who's like my favorite character. I'm going like this whole time, why do I know this voice? Why do I know this voice? Why do I know this voice? It's Christina Ricci.
Oh.
I'm like, that's my brother's ex-girlfriend. What the fuck?
Oh.
Holy shit. From like 17 years ago. It's...
Oh, jeez. That's real weird.
Yeah.
Life is weird sometimes.
Yeah, oh. Wild coincidence. I didn't realize she was as famous as she was. Whoops. Like, I knew she did acting, but turns out she's kind of famous. In my defense, I only really like met her when I was like 6, so...
Yeah. Oh, that is a while ago.
But yeah, no, it was weird because, I haven't really seen much of her movies or anything. I think I've seen, like, Sleepy Hollow, which doesn't put the opinion of, oh, someone very famous. The Sleepy Hollow movie is not that great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm like, how did I
Weird.
recognize that voice? That's wacky. But yeah, so that really threw me for a loop, and I didn't finish it, but...
Okay.
I had to like put it down. I was like, I can't unhear it. I'm like, I need to go find like a Japanese dub of this.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, shall we get into a book club then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you want to start with this week?
Well, I don't know what the fuck happened in either, so I mean, I'm fine with either.
Let's
I mean,
start with number 6.
I sort of know what happened, Kyoso Giga. Number 6, I don't like this show. The longer it goes, the less I like it. At first, I was like, it's like The Giver. Now I'm like, it's even more like The Giver, and it's worse. Wait a second.
This episode is, I don't know. It's like they're trying to set things up, but none of it makes any sense. Like the part that it's like the most was when Rikiga, the dude, just like shows up at Dogkeeper's place, and they just start talking and being mad at each other.
Yeah.
But then Rikiga ends up like working with them for some reason anyway, and it's like so weird.
And when he's talking, or when Shion's talking about the bees, and they're all like, we need to tell, like, this is huge, oh my god, oh no. It's like, I thought neither of these characters or anyone else cared a shit about number 6. Like,
Yeah.
what? Oh,
Like,
I sorry, one random point. I did like the world building where what's her name was in number 5, right?
Yeah.
And
Safu,
everything was super arts focused, and they're talking about how like different she was, the way she acted and thought, how is like
Oh yeah.
number 6 mannerisms, like they're like, oh, it's all about expression and like love and stuff, and like she's still like, oh yes, procreation, and they're like, yeah, that hasn't changed. So it's like number 6 is very clearly the medical center, and number 5 is like the art center. Like each world had, or each number probably has its own specialty, and I that's a pretty neat thing that like they showed instead of just like explained, which I did like that bit. So I need to put something positive in before we went any further, because there's not going to be much else for this episode.
Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of positivity
Oh, okay,
in
okay.
this episode as well, but mostly negativity about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was honestly kind of surprised that we were getting more Safu. I thought she was gonna like pop up again at the end, but it
Yeah, kept going.
between
She's gonna
between-
die. No, her grandma
Yeah.
died instead, apparently.
yeah, probably.
Which, like, I guess the whole hospital must be infested with bees or something.
Oh,
Or,
I
actually,
figured.
my thought was, this is so much like The Giver, they're just putting the old people down. Like,
I
don't trust
I
those
guess-
places. Like,
Yeah, my guess is that they were using the elderly as like test subjects to
that's
test the bees or
possible,
whatever.
too. That's possible, yeah. And, like, it got out to the one
Yeah.
worker or whatever.
Yeah. That was my thought. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, one of the things I liked about this episode was Rat in a dress is cute. He looked
I
good in the play.
actually really didn't like that, because I felt like it was playing heavily into like those old yaoi tropes where it's like one has to be feminine, one has to not be, and they've been pushing for like, you know, Rat to be the top and like Shion to be the feminine one, but then they're like, oh, let's role reversal it for this episode. He's gonna wear a dress and be bashful, and then be upset when he sees Shion seeing him in the dress, because he doesn't want to look girly in front of Shion, and then Shion's gonna like randomly move super fast and like scare him because, oh, Shion's actually super combat ready or fucking whatever. It's like it felt very very yaoi tropish, and I didn't like it.
I just liked it visually.
Yeah, okay, visually it was okay, but yeah, it's like it feels a lot like those like you know, yaoi tropes.
I feel like
trans people don't exist. It's drag artists. We're all gay for yaoi.
I feel like this is like the one way they could get away with it here is that like since it was a play, like, back in the olden times, it was all men.
Yeah.
Were in plays, and so like they have that out, but then I don't know.
But when you're also throwing in the whole, oh yeah, Eve, you could like go fucking make money for this guy who's selling female prostitutes. It's like it feels a lot like
it starts getting real weird.
You could like headcanon it hard as like Nezumi is actually like a trans guy, and these are like these enforced social roles that he hates, kind of thing. Or something like that.
Yeah, it's like they could have used that Shakespeare thing as an out, but they've like there's too much work around it that kind of cuts that off, and they kind of couldn't do that now. And
just the way they make him react to Shion makes me so uncomfortable, because Shion's like, oh, this is fantastic, he's such a good like actor, like Shion doesn't care, but then they make Nezumi care. It's like, how is this gonna play, and why does this have to be a like point in the relationship that causes issues?
It's weird.
And then he passes out and has his weird fever dream of the bees. That Safu has the same one, so it's like, well, he was in one place as like a test. Well, it's like he starts saying the wind blew, and then Safu's saying the same thing, the wind blew, and I fell asleep. So it's like it's hinted that they saw the same thing. There's like a connected dream. So it's like, well, he was in a test thing, maybe he's her clone, maybe they're twins, maybe like there's some kind of test thing between them. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm guessing that they're siblings of some kind. Maybe twins, maybe just siblings. I don't know.
maybe
That's
a
my
whole
guess.
like sort of tested family thing
Yeah.
that then
maybe.
puts the grandmother in
Mhm.
the test as well. So maybe when the grandmother passed away and is by bees, they both passed out and gained this vision of the bees from
Yeah.
the grandmother. Who the
Something like that.
fuck knows? It was nonsense. I did not like it at all. I do
Mhm.
not. The more the show goes, the less I like it. The more it feels like everything
Yeah.
2000s Yowie always does, but packaged cleaner.
Mm. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. That this show is just like I liked it at the start and I'm liking it a whole lot less as it goes on. It's just
The fact
I
that
don't
they're
know.
still trying to build like romantic tension by like weirdly invading each other's personal space and like showing
Uh-huh.
dominance is like just like it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Ugh. Not great.
Not great at all.
It's has not aged well.
Was it
basically.
ever good in the first place? That's the real question.
Probably not. But time has not done it any favors.
No, I guess not.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say about this episode, really. My notes on this are very short.
There wasn't really anything else that happened.
Yeah.
Literally nothing happened this episode but weird fever dreams.
Yeah.
That was it. And Safu telling people like, yeah, clearly you just want to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. That's normal. That's human.
Yeah. All of the stuff with Safo in this episode is just weird. Like, I don't know.
And here's a poem about me looking at the soul because I'm obsessed with the soul.
Yeah. God, that scene, it felt like like one of the writers just had this sick poem that they came up with, and
Well,
like, I really want to put this in this show, and so we're gonna hamstring it through his English class.
Well, I think it was
Hamstring.
supposed to be like a parallel to her first sort of like when she was in number 6 and she's giving this speech
Mhm.
about like how a soul must exist for like scientific reasons, and now it's like
Yeah.
now I can express my interest in this through like art as well, which then they say like you've changed so much since
Mhm.
coming here, except for the sex thing, which it maybe might be she understands Shion more when she sees him again because of that.
Mhm.
But now,
Yeah. I don't know. I just read that as like that's just a thing a lot of shows will do, where like they want to be kind of artsy and make it seem like they're really deep, and then they open an episode with a poem. And it just felt like that was happening here.
yeah.
So they did their best to relate it back to everything, but I don't know. It just kind of felt like they're like, our show's very deep. You really have to think to understand this show.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit pretentious. Just a
Yeah.
little bit. It's literally a Giver knockoff, and the Giver's really pretentious, so
Mm.
it's not that bad of a book,
Yeah.
though. But
Yeah. I remembered almost nothing about it, so can't see either way.
yeah.
Yeah. Shall we move on to Kyoso Giga?
Yeah, I may as
Episode
well.
4? Yeah.
Oh, right, there's one last point I had.
Oh.
He
okay.
mentions, like, oh, yeah, I had the run with the bee. That's why my hair and eyes have changed. I've gained this mark. It's like, no one else's eyes have changed and no one else has gotten a mark. Like, what the fuck was up with that? Because
Yeah.
they happen mid-chain, so clearly there's something fucking special about him. And the fact that he just goes, like, Terminator and, like, super speed on fucking Nezumi sometimes, it's like, okay, clearly there's gonna be a thing about how he's like some secret weapon thing and he's gonna like murder a bunch of people and everyone's gonna die and it's gonna fucking suck. Nezumi's gonna be dead at the end of the series, so is Safu, and Shion's gonna be sad and depressed, or Shion will be with Safu because they'll need the out to not let it be gay.
Mm.
They'll make it gay and then kill
Yeah.
him off to make it not gay again. That's
Mhm.
how these go. Anyways, Kyoso Giga.
Yeah. I think I liked this episode more or less.
It was a fine episode.
Yeah.
It was
I felt
character
like-
building and world
Yeah, I
building.
felt like I felt like structurally this episode was like a much more regular anime
Yeah, it was
episode
very
where
standard.
where like both the episodes before this one felt like they had a list of information that they wanted you to know and just made up scenes to convey that information and didn't have like a through line to connect them to any large degree. Whereas this one was like, no, here is a series of events that are happening and we're going to convey the information we want
Yeah, this felt
throughout these things.
it felt a lot like sort of an episodic kind of episode for a show.
Yeah.
But knowing how it plays into the rest of the series for the full line still works too. Like clearly this is where Yase becomes convinced that it's like her mother, because what's his name says it'll find its way back to mother, and then she like sees the keychain and that, so it's like, oh, it did. She must be like Kodo must be Kodo, but the other Kodo.
Yeah, this is kind of what I wanted those first 3 episodes to be like, actually, is telling these little stories, these little episodic stories, but then also slowly build some larger narrative going on.
They sort of did, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah,
kind
they
of.
were a bit more experimental, which I liked in its own right. The fact that they were experimental, like, gave the show its own kind of like identity. Like, if the whole show was like this episode, where he's just very standard through line, I probably wouldn't be nearly as interested. Or just be a pretty show that was super standard and average. But because it has all these other things they're trying to do, it makes it a bit more intriguing for me, a bit more fun, I think. Looking forward to next episode where they go back to the priest guy again.
Yeah. Know more about him then. Yeah.
And then I'm expecting after that to probably start playing into more of the plot, because that'll be the halfway point, so I figure the second half is going to be all of the plot falling together. The episode 0 OVA we saw will probably end up being episode 9 or so, like fitting in somewhere around there, and then there'll be like final part of episode 10, which will be set after that, like what happens right after.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. It was something in this episode, I don't remember what exactly it was, but there was somewhere there suggesting that Kodo has like a deeper connection to the mother Kodo than just her name. That like maybe she is like a reincarnation of her.
Yeah,
or
the keychain
child or something.
The keychain thing, right?
Keychain? There was something else too.
Yeah, where the stuffed animal is thrown away, and he's like, he'll find its way back to mother, and she has the keychain.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's the same thing.
Back to mother, and she has it. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I mentioned that earlier, but I wasn't clear what I was talking about. That's why Yase stops raging too when she sees it. It's like, oh, it was.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, oh, it's Kodo. I love Kodo. Because before she didn't seem super, super attached to Kodo, but now she... We know by episode 0 that she does become super attached, so this is probably how.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. My only other major note here is that that train that just fills up with all their stuff as they're getting rid of it.
Where does it go?
I want to believe that it connects to like a completely normal train station, and so occasionally the train comes in, we're just like, oh man, the garbage train is here.
Where the fuck does it come from? There's no one on it. The garbage ghost train that just dumps all the garbage everywhere. Fuck.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it just goes through a trash dimension, drops trash everywhere, and people can get stuck in it. And it's like the Teen Titans Go area where Tara Markov gets sent by Raven. It's just like, there's just people living in the trash. It's like, let me out. I need to catch the train to get out of here. Where it goes through like other universes, but doesn't let anything but trash travel on it. So it's like, even though people know about this place, they can't get to it through the train because the train's just like trash only. And there's like one person who gets to ride it because they're human trash, but
yeah. Very good.
Yeah, I like the whole, if you don't need it anymore, you can just send it off, because I guess they're updating new stuff with like the technology from the guy from the other world who's like, you can do this stuff now. So you just like, oh, don't need it, bye. And so they're like, everything gets repaired, so you don't have to replace things too often. But that also means it's hard to get rid of. But Kodo's hammer destroys stuff for good, so
Oh yeah, that seems like it'd be important.
Also, apparently, Yase destroys stuff for good too, because when she destroys the castle, it's like still destroyed the next day when they come by.
Oh, yeah,
So
true.
I'm
Interesting.
thinking Yase, yeah, might be able to break stuff for good as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or because of the size, it might just take longer for it to repair.
Oh, yeah, could be that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I really like all of Yase's, like, demon friends that she hangs out with and lives with.
Their
I don't know,
designs are
just,
so good.
yeah. I really like um, how they have this very otherworldly feel to them because of, like, how they look, like, how they are drawn.
Hmm.
They
Oh
don't look
yeah,
like
yeah.
the regular human characters, and then also they don't actually speak. They make noise, but they don't say words. I
Hmm.
don't know. It's very cool. I
Though
like
they
that a lot.
somehow tell a whole story to Kodo. I assume it's through interpretive dance. That
Oh
butler,
yes,
that butler's
definitely.
got moves.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very
yeah,
cool.
but yeah, it was pretty fun. I like the
Yeah.
world building a lot. I like the character building.
Mhm.
There's a lot of fun stuff in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to the next episode.
Yes, because I'm
Yeah.
expecting that to sort of pull into the world more. Oh,
Yeah.
I do like the way they tied in the backstory stuff in this, because all of them have been showing like their connections to their parents and their backstories, and I really like
Mhm.
how character driven it was. It's like Yase saw like Yase clearly misses her mother a lot.
Mhm.
Her whole world revolves around her mother and like the memories of her and clinging to the past. So she has
Mhm.
like all of these items she doesn't want to get rid of because they hold those memories and she's terrified of forgetting them. And it's like that. It's so tragic, but also so like relatable in a way, kind of like you don't want to forget about the good times with people and stuff, and like you
Oh
understand
yeah.
why people would become hoarders due to reasons
Mhm.
like that, and it's just
Yeah.
I thought it was, despite being a demon and like so over the top, it's still very realistic, and I really like that a lot. And the way they use that to tie in, flashbacks, so we got more like what their family dynamic was and stuff, because all of them have had flashbacks. Most of them have been kind of generic, well, not generic, but they haven't really been tied into how they're being shown. They just like show them
Mhm.
in the previous episodes because the show structure was set up that way,
Mhm.
with like the non-regular show structure, non-linear. But because this had the linear show structure, using that as a way to still keep those scenes, I thought
Yeah.
was clever.
Yeah. Definitely. So, yeah. And something I realized when I was just looking at the Crunchyroll actually. I was like, oh, Crunchyroll has that episode 5.5 that is something about like the voice actors visiting locations that inspired the anime or something.
Yeah, we can skip that.
Yeah, but I was like, why is that 5.5? It seems really weird. But now that we know episode 5 is going to be about the monk, it's like, oh, I bet episode 6 is when like the story proper starts happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay.
usually your point 0.5 episode is halfway through the series, so it's usually 6.5, but because there's only 10 episodes, that might also be why it's 5.5, right? Because it's
Yeah,
the
true.
halfway point
It could be.
filler. Because they're probably told, like, yeah, you need, like, you buy 12 slots of TV to air this. So they're like, well, I guess we'll
Mm-hmm.
make 2.5 episodes. Because there's
Mm-hmm.
also a 10.5 recap episode at the end that just recaps everything
Is it?
that's been shown, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if we'll watch that. We might, but just not do it as part of the podcast because it might not be
Yeah.
relevant at all. We'll just
Yeah.
talk about anything that is relevant or something. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out when we get there. We got a ways to go still. But yeah.
Oh no,
Oh no.
you've
What?
got that. You've got that group love song stuck in my head now. W- Ways
What?
to go.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You haven't heard that song?
Probably
Oh,
not.
I'm sending it to you after this. Okay.
Oh no. Okay. Oh boy.
All right though. So
I guess I'll do it for us this week. I guess.
another short week. Yeah,
Yeah.
not
A short
quite.
one.
We're Yeah, I guess 10 minutes shorter. No news, really.
Yeah. No news. Neither of us watched a ton of stuff. We've been busy.
Yeah, the only real news was they announced some of the names of some of the victims from the Kyoani fire, but
Oh,
that's everywhere you can find it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it's a whole thing.
yeah.
So,
We're
yeah.
not gonna keep digging that up because that's really early in the week too. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I think that's all. I think that's all.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess we'll be back next week on twitch.tv/Sasam. Maybe on Monday, maybe on Tuesday, who could say? Or maybe eventually you'll be able to catch us on YouTube at Shenanimegans.moe with all our episodes eventually.
One day, maybe not.
Someday.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
You like Vimeo? Spotify podcasts? Ooh, we should.
Yeah.
I should actually see if we can go on Spotify podcasts.
I have no idea what their requirements for that are.
I know, right? Maybe. Our show works better as audio format, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much an audio format podcast. I
Yeah.
just sometimes open an article if I remember to change them. But
yeah. And you can also join our Discord, shenanimans.moe/discord, which I still didn't check to see if the invite link is working properly. So I should do that this week. Oops.
Right.
And then our Twitters, Bots, and lastly. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be it for us for this week. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
Take care.
We'll see you.